back to Happening by Chance. My name is Mariana and today I am here with a What Made Me Do It tag that was created by Dragonfly Dilly. I'm finally sitting down and doing this one and I am super excited. So this is a tag basically just about what made you buy certain decks. I love it because this is one of those tags that allows for the opportunity of telling stories about the decks that you own. I love tags that not only are you looking at pretty decks, but you are also hearing stories from people because they tell you why they bought certain things, why they didn't, some stories about how they came across certain decks. I love that kind of thing. I of course will be telling stories because I love to chat, but also a lot of these decks, the way I chose them, a lot of them are interconnected kind of. So you will see how several of these prompts, several of these decks connect to one another. Obviously not all of them, but many of them. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start with the prompts. Prompt number 1 is Tarottube made me do it. As a lot of people have said, obviously there are a lot of decks that you see on Tarottube and that's why you buy them. I was realizing that I think Instagram has made me buy more decks than Tarottube. But of course, still, Tarottube, a lot of decks, right? And the deck I chose for this one is one that you have already seen in my channel. You know it because it's one of my favorites. If you've been following me since before Tarottube, you know about this deck. But this one not only was exclusively because of YouTube, but also it will relate to a deck from a further prompt that I will talk about when we get to that prompt. So the deck I'm talking about, I keep in this pouch, and again, if you have been following me for a while, or if you saw my pink decks video, you know which one I am talking about, and it is the mini Mamanmiyuki, which is a redrawing of the 1709 Pierre Madenier by a Japanese artist, Mamanmiyuki. I saw this deck in Justin Michael's channel, who hasn't uploaded videos recently, or for a while actually, and I hope he uploads videos again because I loved his channel. It was one of my favorites, one of the best Marseille channels, and so yeah, it's super tiny, like super tiny. I don't know if this tells you anything. No, I forgot. I was going to grab a Lenormand or a playing card deck to do like a size comparison because I will be frank, size comparisons don't do anything for me. When people put like a regular size tarot and then they compare, I'm like, no, I don't know what that means. My brain doesn't function like that. But I felt like it would be more indicative if I would grab a Lenormand deck because Lenormand decks are so small. This one is definitely smaller than a Lenormand. And it's just super tiny. But yeah, so this is a redrawing of the Pierre Madenier, which is one of the most beautiful Marseille decks, type 2 I believe, and it's kind of it seems as if it was like colored pencils or something like that. It's very soft and it has pink bags with bunnies in them. You have one bunny here and one bunny here, which was one of the convincing factors to get it. But the reason why I bought it was that I saw it in a top 10 video by Justin Michael. He showed this one and another one, The Great Parade Tarot by Cumpstey, and I bought both after watching his video. I went for this one for this prompt because I had to buy it on eBay, and eBay scares me. I don't know, eBay intimidates me, so I've only bought 3 decks ever on eBay, which I guess is a lot, but still it's not as many as other people. And so I chose it for this prompt because it is you know, after I watched it on the video, I absolutely fell in love. I just had to have it, and I didn't care that it was through eBay, and I bought it to me, like to my address. You know, I am from Mexico, so usually I would buy international stuff for one of my family members, or rather to the address of one of my family members elsewhere in the world. But this one, I was like, I have to have it, and I have to have it now because of Justin Michael's video. So this is the answer to the first prompt. Where is the box? Oh, here. The Mamanmiyuki Tarot Mini, which you can get on eBay. The next prompt is My Heart Made Me Do It. And for this one, I had to choose none other than the Wise Dog Tarot. So this is a Wise Dog Tarot by MJ Cullinane. I think most people should have seen this one, even though it's not one of her more popular ones. This one I bought super early on. There's a tag called First 5, Last 5. I think this was one of my first 5, and it was 100% my heart that made me do it. I was browsing online because I discovered Tarottube early on. So I didn't discover this one on Tarottube. But because I had discovered Tarottube, I knew that there were a lot more than just like, you know, different colored versions of RWS, I guess. So I was browsing online and suddenly I came across this deck and I couldn't believe it. Actually, you know what might have happened? Maybe I saw another MJ Cullinane deck on Tarottube. Yeah, I think that's what happened. So I saw another MJ Cullinane deck on Tarottube and I was looking into it, so I went to her website and I saw this one on her website because I did discover it directly on her website. So as a dog person, I just could not believe that this deck existed. It was very early on in my tarot life and I was super amazed that there was a dog tarot. I could not believe it. I even wrote to my sister. I was like, oh my god, can you believe it? This is like the most perfect thing. And because it was in her website, I didn't even know this was by US Games. I thought this was indie because she had it on her website. So I wrote to my sister. I said, can I send it to your house? You can bring it to me when you come to visit. So I sent her there and I bought it directly off MJ Cullinane's website. I even have the box signed because I bought it from her website. But yeah, it was 100% my heart made me do it. I saw that it was a dog tarot and I just had to have it. I guess this could have also worked for the title prompt because I don't even think I saw a full flip through. I just bought the deck because it was about dogs. I actually love the size and the cardstock of this deck, and this one was the first ever deck I did a full reading with. It wasn't my first deck, but my first deck I was using kind of like to study the courses I was taking when I was learning, and there was a point when I thought if I don't do a reading I'm never going to learn, and this was the first deck I ever read with, so that it has that special memory. And very early on in my tarot life, when I didn't have so many decks, or when I didn't read with Marseille, right, I read this one a lot for people. I read for my some family members, for some friends. So yeah, this is the Wise Dog Tarot by MJ Cullinane, which definitely my heart made me buy. The next prompt is My Head Made Me Buy It, and if you watch Dragon Dilly's original video, in this one the explanation she says is that it's a deck that you thought through before buying it. So it's kind of like the opposite of an impulse buy. The way she explained it, it was like a deck that you really took your time to think about. You maybe watched flip throughs, you decided, you looked different pricings, which one was cheaper. So it was like a thought out choice. It wasn't an impulse. It was really well thought out. And I have the perfect answer to this one because it involves a spreadsheet. And that is the Marshmallow Marseille, which I keep in this pouch. I'm going to explain you this story. It's crazy. I have never done something like this again. I wish I did this to buy decks. Now I just buy them because I want them, you know. I wish I kept doing this. These are the bags, which are holographic, and I really love, and I really love the cardstock as well. And as the name suggests, it's a Marseille deck, but it's done in this cute like doodle style. And actually I was excited because when I went to buy it, I saw that the artist is Mexican, and I don't know, I just thought that was really neat. Anyway, the story. So this was the first Marseille I ever bought. I started reading with Marseille early on in my tarot life because one of the first tarot tubers I started following was Tom Benjamin, and he read a lot with Marseille, with Pips, and I just really liked his approach, and he really loved the Marshmallow Marseille. But I think at this point, I don't think I had bought a lot of indie decks. You know, I did tell you about the Wise Dog Tarot, but I sent that one to my sister. So it felt less scary because it was like from the US to the US, you know? And so when I was going to buy this one, I thought it was really expensive, and I thought maybe it would be hard to buy. Now I don't even want to look at how much it cost because it was probably not expensive at all compared to other decks that I have bought, which is funny, right? But because of that, I wanted to really think about my decision, and I wasn't sure if I should buy this one just because it was pretty and indie, or if I should buy this one, the Tarot de Maria Celia, which I'm not going to flip through, but it's a mass market deck. US games, you can see here one of the cards, and they are also in this like cartoony style, which was what attracted me of this one. It's also small, it's also like a nice color palette, it's purples, greens, like this one. These are more neon, but so I thought this one is the sensible choice. It's cheaper, it's easier, and it's equally cute, but I also really like this one. So I was like, okay, what should I do? So here's what I did. I looked for a flip through of the Marshmallow Marseille and a flip through of the Maria Celia, and I opened in my computer, I opened the windows side to side, and I had a spreadsheet with all the cards of the tarot. And what I did was that I watched the flip throughs side by side, and I would put a mark in the card that I liked best, either the Marshmallow or the Maria Celia. Marshmallow, Maria Celia, so that in the end I would have a tally of which deck I liked the most in general, which deck had the most marks. So in the end, the one that had most marks was the indie one that was more expensive, but I still am proud of myself for taking the time of doing like a really well thought out decision. So this would be the one that my head made me buy, in the sense of how Dragonfly Dilly did in her video, of a really well thought out purchase. And it's the Marshmallow Marseille. The next prompt is the title made me do it. I struggled with this one because I do heavily rely on the art for deciding on decks, and specifically because after I look at the cards, look at the art, I can see which decks I could read with, and that's my main prerequisite for buying a deck, is that I think I can read with it. But I did come up with a choice, and that would be the Anatomize Oracle, which I have also showed before and I have used in videos before. This one I bought because I was specifically looking for an anatomy oracle. Further along the video, you will see another anatomy oracle that I bought before this one, that I bought because I thought it would be great for doing like health readings, health work, health inner work. As you know, I have an illness, a disability, like a lot of health issues, and so I do like doing that type of work, like for grief, for internal stuff, for dealing with, for processing. Like I do use the cards to help me process the trauma of living with everything I have. So I bought the other oracle that I will show you, but that didn't end up being like, I don't know, it didn't end up being what I wanted. And so I realized that what I wanted was something that resembled more like just anatomy cards. And so I was on Etsy actually looking for anatomy study cards for medical students. That's what I was looking for, and I thought I could use those as an oracle. So I was looking for that, so I googled anatomy cards, and this one came across the search, and it's called Anatomize Oracle. So I thought, what? Oh my god, that's exactly what I'm looking for. An anatomy oracle. It's not even med student cards, it's an anatomy oracle. So of course, after I saw the title, I did go ahead and look at the images and read the description of the creator right before buying it. But really, it was the title that first caught my attention, and these are the backs. The next prompt is the art made me do it. And as I said, the art is one of the main things that makes me buy decks, because the art tells me, one, if I like it aesthetically, obviously, two, if it's my vibe, but three, if I'm going to be able to read with it. So there are many decks that I adore, that I think are amazing, that I would buy in a heartbeat if it was just for the aesthetic aspect, but that I don't think I am going to be able to read with them, and so I don't buy them. This one is an exception, which is why I'm showing it here, because I fell in love with the art, with the color palette, just everything. The aesthetics are so my vibe, so my aesthetic, that I could not pass this one up. And it is an Italian mass market deck. It's Dal Negro. Is Dal Negro a mass market company? I mean, they sell on Amazon, so I guess. Dal Negro y Trionfi del Regno de Sicilia. I bought this one directly on their website. They only ship to Italy, but one of my friends bought it for me. So yeah, I Trionfi del Regno de Sicilia is about the time period of the triumph of the kingdom of Sicilia, which I need to do research on, because I am not an expert on Renaissance Italy. But the cards look like this. And look, this is the Eight of Cups. This is the Seven of Cups. So as you can see, it's neither Marseille nor RWS. And so I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read with it, but I do not care. I need this deck because the art is amazing. The majors have this metallic quality to them, but it's not a regular foil effect. It's almost as if the foiling is within the lamination, like underneath the lamination. It's so cool. I had never seen that before, and it was an amazing surprise. I didn't know it was going to be like that. But the art, I'm going to come a little bit up close so you can see the art, because that is what we are here for. So I saw this deck in the channel of Sarah at Waterchild Tarot, which is a channel that I miss terribly, and the worst part about it is that her videos are no longer up. So you can't even, like look for other videos to watch them, which is super sad. But she showed this deck in one of her videos, and in her video she actually said that she was rehoming it because she could not read with it. Actually, maybe she didn't even show it. I think she just mentioned it by name, and I googled it and I fell in love. So you see, it's like it's a deck that it's not like a very logical decision. It's a deck that is hard to read with and hard to get, not super common, but I fell in love with the art, which is why I bought it. I do think this is the coolest deck I own in terms of the art and the color palette. I'm so happy to have it, even if it's a strange one. Like, look at this magician. And it has this weird lamination effect. Can you see? You know how this one looks because of the shading and the metallic? It looks like it was transparent and you were shining a candle underneath, and so it shines. That's the effect that this has. And I love it because it's a certain time period in Europe. I have to look at the date, but I do think it's like late Middle Ages or early Renaissance, most likely, I think. But you can see the mixture of the cultures, right? Like, you have more Eastern looking fashions and more Western looking fashions. It's just a super interesting time period in history, and it's honestly my it's 100% my vibe, my aesthetic. Not even funny. It's insane, which is why I bought it, and I am so happy to have it. Oh, and I didn't show you. Look at these two of Pentacles. How cool is that? I should really show the entire deck. These are the backs. The next prompt is the hype made me do it, and for this one I'm going to show you the other anatomy oracle that I was telling you about, and that is the energy archaeology oracle. So this one I feel like had a moment on Tarottube. It was on a lot of channels and people were just raving about this as like super transformative. These are the backs. They are reversible and the art is like this. So this is all about bones and I don't know, love and light. I don't know how to explain it. Even the art, as you see, is very it's a certain style of oracle that is I don't know how to explain it, but look at this card. It's like aura, light, I don't know. It's a different vibe. It's not usually my vibe, but for this one, the art is just super beautiful and I really love it. And the keywords are really great. So for instance, this one I love. Open. Anyway, people were raving about this and specifically about the book. And because, as I told you, I have an illness, a disability, etc. And originally I got into tarot from the healing aspect. I'm not going to go into that story, but I had an interest. So when I saw this deck, I thought, and I guess the hype and my fantasy self made me do it, because when I saw this one, I thought, oh, I'm going to pull cards, see the body part that they're talking about, read the entry in the book, and like do some inner work, inner healing work with that part of the body that is shown in the deck. My illness has nothing to do with bones specifically, but you know, the area of the body. And while I love the art and the keywords, and I did have some amazing readings with this one, I used this one in combination with a modern Mary, and I really loved it. The guidebook just doesn't do it for me. I'm not going to get into the guidebook in this video because I do want to make like a video review of all my anatomy oracles. I don't know when. My surgery is supposed to be soon, like within the next couple of weeks, if everything goes well. If you're watching this video and you are inclined to light a candle or do a prayer or an intention or something so that I can get my surgery soon, please go ahead. So I don't know when I'm going to do the video, but I do want to. So the guidebook doesn't work for me, and I didn't end up using it a ton, which is how I ended up with the other anatomy oracle. I didn't show you, but this has matte gold lamination. That one was a gift from my mom, actually. Now that I pull it out, I want to use it. But yeah, that would be the answer. The next prompt is my inner child made me do it. And for this one, it is undoubtedly the Livett the Ghost Tarot. And the reason why I'm showing this one is the same as the Trionfi deck, which is that this is a super weird deck that a lot of people in YouTube say that they can't read with it, or that it's like, I don't know, weird. But even so, I bought it because inner child. So this one, I was going to use this one for the Show Us Your Decks part 2 because it has a quote in the box and it comes with a little accordion booklet. So here you have, this is a type of art. See, for instance, this is a six of pentacles. So you can see it's weird. This is the six of pentacles. Then the chords are like all over the place. This is the king of cups. The chords are marked. So here the shells are the cups, but the minors are not marked, they are just numbered. So this one would be the six of pentacles and this one would be the seven of pentacles. But then, for instance, this one would be the four of cups. So as you can see, it's super weird, but it makes it's not that difficult to read. Honestly, I've been reading it with it a lot and it's a great reader. But the reason why my inner child made me do it, it's okay. Let me find a major. Okay, so for instance, you have here temperance, you have here death, you have here the devil. Let me look for something more inner child. Okay, this one is the hermit. Okay, this is a good one. The moon, this is another good one. The star, this is another good one. The tower. So I don't know if you can tell, but I have always been an emo type of person. Like in terms of, okay, so I don't know if this explains it, but I am a Cancer moon, so I've always been kind of, you know, emo. So it's the emo fantastical drawings. I was obsessed with the moon and drawing moons when I was a kid. I had moons in my room. I drew moons all the time, and this was done on an iPad, but it looks like a pen, like ink, and I would draw with ink all the time. So it's the emo, the squiggly, fantastical, and it's the purple. It's These bags scream inner child. It's etched in matte purple. The box is purple. The cards have these purple tones, and it's this fantastical, like, look at this house. It seems very fantastical, very weird. It's funny because I have decks like the Pipspeak Marseille, which I guess that's like, a lot of people call that like an inner child deck. But if you like traveled back in time and you took this deck and the Pipspeak and you put them in a store, 10-year-old Mariana would buy this one, not the Pipspeak. The Pipspeak is 100% adult tastes, not inner child tastes, if that makes sense. So let me just show you a couple more. This is another chord. So these are the pentacles, the valet, so the page. Then you have the 2 of swords. Then, for instance, here you have the 5 of swords, the 6 of swords, the 2 of wands, 8 of wands, 9 of swords, 10 of swords, 3 of swords. Look at the Queen of Pentacles. Isn't she so pretty? Yeah, no, 100% inner child. Livett the Ghost Tarot, and this is published by Tarot Stack. The next prompt is My Dark Side Made Me Do It. And speaking of emo, I'm going to choose a emo deck. My emo side. My dramatic side that likes to dwell in the dark thoughts made me do it. And funnily enough, it's in this pretty pink crochet pouch. And it is the Cemetery Oracle by Louisa Wessels. I showed this one in another video recently. My print-on-demand decks, maybe. So this one I bought because, okay, I'm not going to heavily go into it, but as a person with an illness and disabilities, I think about death a lot. And after a book I read that I highly recommend to everyone, I love that book, I realized that I needed to include more like a memento mori practice in my life. And that's why I got this deck. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to go further down into my dark emo dark thoughts type of side, and especially not right now. So this one is the Cemetery Oracle by Louisa Wessels, and these are the backs. Final 2 prompts. The next prompt is Impulse Made Me Buy It, and this one I'm going to show you one that is related to the Mamanmiyuki mini that I showed you at the beginning. So as I told you, I bought this one because this is the one that I saw in Justin Michael's channel, and when it arrived I was super surprised at how tiny it was. As I said, my brain doesn't calculate abstract concepts well. And so I didn't imagine how small they were going to be. Because I have a lot of mobility issues with my hands, I was sure I wasn't going to be able to use it. I was very disappointed because I love the images, but I thought I'm never going to use this. It's so small. And so immediately, like literally, this arrived in my house. I opened it, saw the size, went into eBay and ordered the standard size. I didn't even try to use this one. I didn't even try to read with it. I literally, at that moment, went ahead and bought the standard size, which is my impulse buy. And so much impulse was it that, as you can see, I still have the talk box for this one because I was sure that I was going to end up giving it away. And I don't have the talk box for this one because I threw it away because I was sure that this was the one that was going to be my main reader. Turns out I could read with the mini. These are the backs of the standard. Turns out I could read with the mini, and I read with it all the time, and it's one of my favorite decks, and I think I have used this one once or twice. I should use it more because I love it. But I talk about impulse buy, right? I bought it without even trying to read with the other one. Turns out the other one is my main reader, and this one I have only used a couple of times. So I'm not going to show it a lot because you saw the mini one. It's exactly the same one, just in the standard size. But I don't know, maybe with this one you can see up close the chords, the faces, because they are the point of the Pierre Madenier. They are very gentle. Okay, here for instance you can see the Empress. See her face? It's very gentle. And yeah, this is the standard size Mamanmiyuki, which is a redrawing of the Pierre Madenier. I sadly don't have the talk box because, silly me, I didn't know that talk boxes were my favorite when I ordered this deck. It was that long ago. And finally, you have to come up with your own prompt. I've loved all of the prompts that people have chosen. So my made-up prompt is family members' travel plans made me do it. As you know, I've talked about this. I'm from Mexico, and so shipping is super expensive. So I always take advantage whenever I have a friend or family member traveling abroad. I'm lucky enough to have people in my life who either travel a lot or live in other countries, and they always help me out with decks. So I have a lot of decks that I have ordered because I knew that people were traveling or they were coming to visit, and so I get a deck from them or to their house. But the one I chose is a deck that was not in my radar, that I wouldn't have bought any other reason. Like, if this was on Amazon, I wouldn't have bought it. I love it, but I wouldn't have bought it. I have a lot of decks, but they were on my wish list. I did want them, and then I just wait for someone to travel to that place or wherever. This one was not like that. This one was more of a case where I knew that my sister was going to be in Argentina, and so I literally went online and thought, which deck can I buy from Argentina? So one of them was the Dodal by Pablo Robledo, which I forgot to bring, but that one, as I said, was already in my wish list, and I just took advantage that my sister was going to be there. I was waiting for the street musicians to go, but I'm not sure if you can hear them. Anyway, so this one, as I said, it wasn't on my wish list or anything. Literally, I was looking for Argentinian creators, Argentinian websites that sell tarot, to see which I would get. And this is the one that I ended up getting. There is a super cool one, collage style, on Etsy, if anyone is interested. I didn't get it because I didn't think I would be able to read with it, but I know a lot of people love collage decks, and there's a really cool Argentinian one on Etsy. So this one is a cute cat oracle. Look at the first card. Oh my god, so funny. That this is the first card, and this says goodbye to the past. So I got it because the cards are super funny. Other than adorable, they are like very original. I had never seen some of these cards in oracles before, or these keywords. They are very unique and interesting, but they work really well in a reading. So this one says shake it. And then, for instance, oh, these are the backs I forgot to show you. These are the backs. But for example, like, go to the detail. This one says side thought. Show the claws. I mean, look at this one. It says false alarm. False alarm. And it's like a cucumber. You have seen videos online of cats scared of cucumbers, but it says false alarm. It's super funny. This one just says popo popo poker face, like Lady Gaga's song. This is one of my favorites. It's unsophistication. And look at the cat. I feel like this is me a lot of times. And then this is my other favorite, and it's to philosophize for a while. I love it. So that's the cat oracle. It's called El Oráculo del Gato, and I am so happy I bought it because the new edition is oracle size, and I prefer the mini. I think it works so much better with a cute cat. And this is actually her cat. I don't remember his name. It had his name in the box, but I don't have the box anymore. Why do I do that? Anyway, so this is El Oráculo del Gato, and I bought it because of a family member's travel plans. So that would be it for the tag. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, this is happening by chance. My name is Mariana, and I will see you soon with another video. In the meantime, I wish you happy reading, whether that be card reading, book reading, whether dice, charms, whatever type of reading you prefer.